I'm sending out this message for the people who are going to understand exactly what I'm talking about. It's going to sound like I'm speaking in code, but if you're truly meant to understand it, you're going to understand it. Because truth is, if something is truly meant for you to understand and receive and perceive, then it is not about the words, but rather the energy behind the words. The way that your soul understands something or your heart understands something is not via word, it is via energy, right? So if you feel gravitated towards my energy, then you can already take that as a sign that you're meant to be here, listening to this message and to receive this message. And of course, we're dealing with another interference. And I'm not asking you to interpret the reasoning behind it, because that's where you are likely going to be wrong. Because for most of you, you are still in the logical side of your brain where you need explanations, that where you need things to make sense before you understand it as truth. So I am speaking rather directly to the source of your heart without even having you understand logically, because that's how I want you to start living your life, with courage, with resilience, with bravery in your heart, where you are choosing something, where you're paying attention to something, where you're opening your heart up to something, or going to places based on what feels right to you, not what you think you should do, which is going to be a logical decision from your brain once again. Essentially, I'm having you open up your heart space, and the way that you become more comfortable in doing so is by taking action. So without even knowing what it means to live by your heart, I am just telling you that start doing things that you feel gravitated towards. Even just this moment where you're listening to this because you don't even know what I'm talking about, or maybe you do, but you don't even understand fully what I'm actually talking about. However, you feel like you understand it somehow, or at least you feel like you understand my energy, or you feel comforted by my energy. This is what I'm talking about. Even though you might not be able to understand exactly what is happening right now, or what exactly that I'm saying right now, or perhaps I'm not really saying anything, but you know exactly the energy that you're feeling in your heart, and you can't put your word or you can't put your thought around it, and that's okay. I'm actually opening up the space where you actually are allowed to feel those things that have no end to them, or conclusion or judgment formed, but rather still feeling safe in the space. You see, your assumption that there has to be a conclusion every time that you're in the space, or you're receiving a message, or you're supposed to take that somewhere right away, that's exactly why that your thoughts are always in a knot, where you're creating an illusion, you're chasing an illusion, and they don't really lead you anywhere, but rather a loop, where you are chasing the sense of accomplishment, or you're chasing an observable fact, where you're chasing that validation that you're figuring something out, when in reality, sometimes your purpose in life is for you to experience something, and for you to feel something beyond the seen realms, or beyond the physical, because that's how you're supposed to experience yourself, via feelings in your heart. That being said, if you've been feeling crazy your entire life, or you feel like there's more to life than just what they're telling you to do, or maybe the pain and suffering you've endured, or the darkness that you're living through right now, or the challenging times that you're having to go through right now, there is. But it's moments like this where your heart is speaking to you to listen to something, or to pay attention to something, that you actually have to honor. It is those moments that are going to give you those validation from within. You have to start there. So when I say start living with your heart, it is about these moments. Just stay present, show up to moments, and show up to places, show up to people that draw you in. Just show up authentically, and you don't have to try to figure out what is going on. Just show up without having to judge anything. Just show up, because your heart already knows the truth without your logic. That's been the illusion all this time. There is no logic. Logic is not the opposite of your heart-centered living. If anything, if you actually live with your heart open, that is your logical path. That is the path for you. So for you to try to create separation between the logical path and the spiritual path, or this heart path, that itself is illogical. Because as someone who has a heart, right, as someone who is spiritual, because you actually are spiritual by nature, because you're a spirit living inside a body rather than a body carrying a spirit, right, then you inherently should understand that you are spiritual in nature. So there should be no separation to begin with. And that's why that I'm inviting you to actually trust yourself, to see beyond what they're telling you. And perhaps you already know what that feels like, but you've been doubtful, you've been skeptical, and that's okay. But that's what I'm telling you, to not even think about it. Don't even think about what I'm saying, but you understand in your core the energy that I'm giving you right now. And these are moments you have to pay attention to, because I want you to experience yourself beyond the logical.